September 21st, 1966. Scott Lee Kimball's world began here. Boulder, Colorado. Oldest of two in a family destined to fracture. By 1976, Barb and Virgil Kimball's divorce tore Scott's childhood apart. Neighbors would soon call police, alarmed by gunshots blazing from his 10th floor window, before any of them understood why. At Grandma's, Scott met Theodore Payton. Fun, attentive, a man twice his age. But this was no grandfather's affection. Soon, behind closed doors, a darkness spread that a 10-year-old could neither name nor fight. One day, while Scott bathed, Payton offered help, then revealed a sickening truth. A porn magazine, a forced touch, then bondage and abuse, all meticulously filmed. A childhood stolen. Payton spiked Scott's juice with alcohol, unleashed twisted games of truth or dare, and whispered death threats. Tell anyone and I'll kill your father. So the boy stayed silent. In 1989, at just 23, Scott aimed a rifle at his head. The bullet glanced off, carving a scar that would mark him forever. As he hovered between life and death, something inside him snapped. Scott finally broke his silence. He and other survivors pressed charges. In 1991, Payton was convicted of 6 counts of child sexual assault, yet released in 1996, free to roam. The nightmare wasn't over. Abuse left him fractured. Scott dropped out, drifted into petty fraud, bad checks, stolen rifles, burglary. His victims were neighbors, small-town business owners, anyone trusting enough to hand him money. In 2002, the FBI saw value in a con man. Scott became informant K.L. Schlaf's inside man. Together, they chased whispers of murder-for-hire rings. But buried beneath bravado lay darker secrets. Accusations of rape, kidnapping, and disappearances no agency connected. Until it was almost too late. Leanne Emery vanished in January 2003. Jennifer Markham disappeared days later. Teenager Casey McClody was last seen leaving for work. Uncle Terry never returned from a family visit. Each missing person trailed back to Scott. Yet local police dismissed them as runaways until a skull emerged from the snow. In 2007, facing life or death, Scott cut a deal, pleaded guilty to 4 murders, lead investigators to the bodies. He confessed. The Rocky Mountain con man was unmasked as a calculating killer, and the FBI's informant program lay in ruins. Today, he sits in Florence High, a 70-year sentence, parole eligibility in 2054. At 57, his story stands as a chilling reminder. Sometimes the most dangerous monsters hide in plain sight. Scott Lee Kimball, victim turned villain, informant turned murderer. His crimes spanned decades. But the real horror lies not just in what he did, but in how he slipped through every crack.